What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here. Got that kind of a new little background I was trying out here. This is actually a little takedown mat that I got from Amazon. Keep stuff from rolling around. Got a review for you today of the Cold Steel American Lawman. Cold steel knives are made in Taiwan, but this one is called the American Lawman. That's not really any reflection on the manufacturer or the quality of the manufacturer. Taiwan knives can be just as good, or in some cases better than American-made knives. From what I've experienced, at least Spyderco to me is a good example of that. Their Taichung, Taiwan factory's got better fit and finish in a lot of ways than their Golden factory, even though Golden factory is good. But anyway, this is the Cold Steel American Lawman. Another triad lock. If you guys watch the Demco, or I keep saying Denko 8, the Cold Steel 8010 review. It's the same locking system. Andrew Demko invented it whenever he was at Cold Steel Knives. Same secure locking system, much smaller than the 8010, but still a pretty good size knife. Go ahead and do size comparison to get that out of the way. Got the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Look at it, it's roughly from the butt of the handle to the tip, right at the same size as the Paramilitary 2. What I would consider a full-size knife. People have told me that the Paramilitary 2 is not a full-size knife. I would say this is what I would consider a full-size pocket knife. But everyone's different, and everyone's got different preferences and what they consider full-size knife, or small, medium, whatever. But to me, for my channel's purposes, this Paramilitary 2, I would consider that a full-size knife. This would be a smaller knife to me. This is a Para 3, Spyderco Para 3. This is kind of like the miniature version of the Paramilitary 2. So, we got those. Let's see what else we got. Got the Ritter Hogue RSK MK1. Again, roughly the size of that knife from tip to the end of the handle. A little bit smaller as far as overall length goes, but not by much. I think the Ritter Hogue's got it beat just by a little bit, but not really that much at all. Actually, it might be pretty equal. This is the Hogue Deca. Definitely bigger than the Hogue Deca. Broader blade than both of those, or broader blade than the Deca. Right about the same, maybe even a little smaller than the Ritter Hogue. And this is what I would consider it's like, kind of like its bigger brother. That's the Cold Steel 8010. As you can see from, I've got them lined up pretty close to straight right there from the butt of the handle. And make sure they're dead even. Yeah. Yeah, so differences overall, you've got looking at right at about 5/8 of an inch overall length difference between the two. So this is a larger knife, a little bit bulkier in the handle than this one. Cutting edges more than this one. Blades bigger, broader. This is more of a bigger knife as far as pocket profile goes. This is a lot more friendly if you're carrying it every day, in my opinion at least. So Got that out the way with the size comparisons. We'll go ahead and go over overall measurements here. So I'm looking at from the tip of the blade to the end of the handle, right at 8 inches. Blade length, 3 3/8 on the blade length, and cutting edge just a hair over 3 inches. Yeah, you're looking at right at about 3 1/16 maybe on the cutting edge. That's a lot in part due to the finger choil. It's got a really good forward finger choil. Let's see, calipers, if I can find them. Here they are. Do blade stock thickness. And it's got a little bit of a swedge there. Thickest part of the blade, looking at 135 thousandths, pretty thick blade. And going down to right around where the cutting edge is at, right before you get to the bevel on the cutting edge, you're looking at 33 thousandths. Pretty thick knife, but also it will cut and it will slice pretty good. Cold steels, a lot of them are like that. They're kind of built for hard use. Get the scale out. It's not, to me, an especially heavy knife. Balance is kind of, let's see if I can get it right. Balance is kind of like right behind the pivot, right where that finger cutout is. That first finger cutout is balanced pretty well. So when you're gripping it like this, it's balanced right in there. It's a pretty well balanced knife, in my opinion. Pretty ergonomically sound too. Get the weight out the way here. 4.3 ounces. Yeah, 4.3 ounces, which is really good considering the 80-10 is double the ounce and inch ratio. I'd say that's pretty good. Still not perfect. You know, I mean, you got a little over 3 inches of cutting edge, and you got 4.3 ounces, so not perfect. A little heavier for a lot of people. You can definitely get more pocket friendly knives for sure, but not exceptionally bad. Not nearly what the 80-10 is. See what it looks like with the clip. So that's about how much you got sticking out. You're looking at it. Not too much, but also not a deep carry knife. I don't know if I'll let you guys get a close-up look at it or not. But that's it up close. Go ahead and do the hardware check. I think that's the last thing that I got as far as specs. Pocket clip screws, T6. Show you guys, T6. Body screw, T6. Pivot, I think, is a T10. And yeah, T10 on the pivot. I don't really like T6 screws, but if you get a good bit and you're careful whenever you take them apart not to strip them out, and there's you can get them in and out with no problem most of the time. T10, absolutely no problem, no issue with that. Go ahead and go into ergonomics. It's a pretty good knife, I would say, as far as grip goes. A lot of that is due to that forward finger choil that's cut out. Whenever you're gripping it choked up like that, going to do draw cuts, making a lot of utility cuts, stuff like that, puncturing. That this is solid, and you got a pretty good grip on it. It's a really grippy knife. It's not slipping out of your hand if your hands are oily or whatever. And also the benefit of it being larger is you can use gloves with it. Good hard use knife. Again, going back to the triad locking system. It's not just a regular back lock. It activates and deactivates like a regular back lock, but added bit of security. One of the extra things with a triad lock is that pin that you're looking at. If I can show you right there. Whenever this goes against that pin between the lock bar, it's engaged like that. So if that was to break, if it was to see like a high pressure or something like that, that pin would break first, and then it would still have the benefit of the back lock there. So really good secure lock. Triad lock's one of the strongest on the market. Not a fidget friendly knife at all. Flicking it open, you know, you got to kind of give it some wrist if you're going to one-handed open it. It's the action on it's smooth. Whenever you get to this point, right about there, it draws shut. Lock up really good. No side to side play at all. No front and back play. It's dead solid, almost like holding a fixed blade whenever it's locked up. Blade centering is pretty spot on. Thumb studs are pretty comfortable. They're not rough on your thumbs or anything like that when you're opening and closing it. It's got a DLC coating on it that helps prevent wear and tear on the blade itself. Get the camera to focus in on it. It's a pretty nice coating, I think. There's a lot of different PVD, DLC, Cerakote, a lot of different coatings out there, but this one is, to me, is one of the nicer looking ones. It's almost like a black, but in satin, is I guess the best way I could describe it. How I think it looks anyway. See the fingerprints on it whenever I touch it. It's a shiny, glossy looking blade finish. S35 VN steel on the blade. Great steel for everyday carry. As far as corrosion resistance, not really a whole lot to worry about here. I think along with the DLC coating, S35 VN does offer its own bit of corrosion resistance. Good for edge retention. I've done a lot of cutting, a lot of slicing, cut rope, boxes, all kinds of stuff with this. The edge is just now starting to dull up and get a wee bit chippy, but I haven't sharpened this at all. I haven't put my edge on it. I have not done anything with it at all. And factory edge, that's to me a higher bevel than what you're used to seeing from the factory. It's pretty good. Nice hollow grind on it, swedges down from the top. Jimping, a little bit of jimping right here on the top of the G10. Kind of, you know, helps out a little bit. It's not the most comfortable knife in the world, but ergonomically, whenever you're locked in this position, that's the benefit of having that long extra bit of handle there. You've got plenty of room to lock up in full choked up mode like that. No jimping up top. It's really smooth, so I don't really see a need for the jimping. I've done a lot of cutting with it. It hasn't really bothered my thumb at all. The G10 is fairly well rounded, contoured around the edges there. Nice back spacer there. There's no and this is a little scratchy, but I do like that G10 texture. Their texturing on this one's pretty good. The back spacer's there, and along with the triad lock bar itself, there's no internal milling. There's no internal liners, I should say. So the back spacer and the lock bar itself, along with the bolsters there and the T6 hardware, are essentially what hold the knife together, and not really an issue there. It doesn't run on bearings, it runs on phosphor bronze washers, which contributes to its lack of being smooth, but also it is a back lock, triad lock, whatever. So the smoothness, you're not really looking for super smooth on that. Not gonna be like something you sit there and flick open and close, you know. Like I said, you can one-handed open it, definitely, with a little bit of wrist. It's a lot easier. One-handed closing you can also do, but I would issue a little bit of caution there on that, because it's easy to bring that down on your finger whenever you're closing it. You can even middle finger flick it open. If I can do it right under the camera here. A little bit of wrist, you can get it out pretty good. Closing it up, just gotta watch your fingers. I'd recommend two-handed closing it more than anything. Pocket clip, not bad. Like I said, it's not a deep carry. They do give you an extra pocket clip whenever you buy the knife. It comes with one, which I was kind of wondering myself. Why wouldn't you just be able to take this one and put it on this side? But the way that curves like that, well, let me show you. It'd probably help if I had it on camera. The way that it curves like that, it wouldn't, if you flipped it over to the other side, it would kind of curve the wrong way. So that's why they give you an extra pocket clip whenever you buy the knife, which is good. I don't know how their warranty is, but I would think a cold steel knife from the ones that I've had, and I've had about 4 or 5 of them, different models and stuff, their warranty is probably good. I would imagine they would replace anything if it broke, if it was a legit reason, you know. But their knives are extremely hard use and tough, so I've never had an issue with anything with any of their knives. Right now, retail for this, it's running kind of right around $120 or so if you go on Blade HQ or Knife Center. But at this moment in time that I'm making this video, they have a deal on Amazon. It's going for about $96.55 right now, which for what it is a pretty good deal, I think. This is not really a super old knife, but it's been out since 2018, so it's about a 6-year-old knife at the time I'm making the video. So it's definitely got competition, and it's not a budget knife, even though in my eyes the steel and what you're getting for the price is pretty good if you're looking for a good hard use work knife. Pretty good. Not as heavy and hefty as the 8010, but for someone that needs a hard use knife, kind of looking for, you know, like a lighter, little bit smaller of an alternative to the 8010, with the benefit of the security of the triad lock, and in my opinion, better ergonomics, I would definitely suggest this as a good buy. So anyway, that's about it. That's the cold steel American Lawman. Great knife. I would recommend this knife. Stay tuned and keep watching if you like the content. If you want to see more videos, like the video if you like it. If you want to hear me ramble more on about knives, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you.